Oh, the 49ers get better and better as the days go by. We just extended our wide receiver, maybe some of our favorites. Mike, we're going to break that down, and we're going to look to see how the 49ers plan to dominate on the offensive side because they got some top-rated players headed in to the 2024 season. You ready to get it, baby?
I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
B.A.M. Show. What's going on, 49er faithful? We touching down right here. We had some breaking news that broke a little bit earlier. I can't wait to get my big bro Mike's reaction. All right, Mike, how you doing? How you feeling? How you living? Remember that movie Living Large? I was hoping you would have said Living Large.
Living Large.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that movie.
I was going to say Living Large, but I don't know what movie it's from. How weird
is that? It's a movie called Living Large.
Okay,
I think it had Tommy Davidson in it.
Of thing. Yes, I feel like it was like a Living Color-ish. Like, so some of those people had to be there, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who the other dude in the movie was, but I thought it was Tommy Davidson. I could be wrong. That could be Strictly Business. I might have the wrong. You know what? I'm going to look it up. Mike, how you feeling, bro?
I was looking it up. How you living large?
1991
That's
film.
Funny. Oh, my God.
Oh, so it didn't have any of those guys. And it had Overton in it from Living Single.
Shut up. He did something else?
Yeah, yo, Overton is
wow.
Don't
do that. What's his real name? Because I need to know what other movies he's been in.
Terrence C. Carson. That's his real name.
Terrence C. Carson.
Living Large. I had Strictly Business mixed up, so my bad. My apologies.
Oh, you said Overton, but you meant Kyle. I knew Kyle did other stuff.
I'm sorry. No, okay. I don't think Overton did any other movies. My fault.
I never saw him in anything else. Kind of like Carlton from Fresh Prince. Like, you ever get like typecasted and just can't get out of that? Like, so now like that's just how they see you forever.
That's how they see you forever.
That's got to be a bit of a curse. I'm doing well though. I know you asked me how I'm doing, man. I'm happy to be on the show. I know we missed yesterday's show. I apologize to the people over there, but when you got sick children, you in and out of hospitals and all that, you got to do what you got to do. So we made it back today. This one was pushed back, not completely canceled like how yesterday was. So we good now. We good. I'm happy. She's happy. She's good.
That's good, man. It's always good to see that she's doing well. I'm glad she's in good spirits. Mike, breaking news, Jauan Jennings signed a 2-year deal, extended his currently tendered restricted free agent contract. He's no longer a restricted free agent, Mike. This is huge, right? This brother went from 7th round draft pick, Mike, to cut, to practice squad, to a restricted free agent, and he just inked himself a deal, man. What's good? How you feeling?
I feel vindicated.
Okay.
I feel justified. I said that he should get a deal. I don't think he should touch $10 million a year.
You did.
And not that I want him to get less, but here I didn't see that value in this system. This makes me very happy. If Jauan Jennings is wide receiver 3, we are in good hands. I love this. I love this.
Do you love it because of the value of the contract? Because if Jauan Jennings, let's say Jauan Jennings had to be wide receiver 1 or 2.
Then we in trouble.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm.
And watch him take over a game and become the one.
But yak bros don't exist. Like there's no yak.
It doesn't
in that situation.
You don't necessarily have to have yak. I
don't know if Brock is ready to throw the ball 40 times a game and get 300 yards of passing without yak. I don't see that. I don't think that's part of Brock's game yet.
All right, so I got to pull up this because it's a great question, and I don't want you to think that he's a slouch in the yak game because he's not. Like he's not Debo, and in the same sense, he's like Brandon Ayuk's not a huge yak guy. It's literally Debo, Kittle, CMC. You could throw in some Ayuk, you could splash a little with Jennings.
Okay, but the difference, I like what you did there while you pulling up what you're pulling up, because the difference with Ayuk and
I love you,
Jennings,
bro.
you're right. They're not going to be huge yak guys, but Ayuk is attacking downfield. Like Ayuk will run the 30-yard route.
And to my defense, yes. And the intermediate routes are attacked by Jauan Jennings, who's living over the middle. Remember, it used to be Kittle over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's become Jennings over the middle.
Because one body can't take the. Yeah, you're right.
What you about to
were
say?
absolutely right.
Don't you not say what you was about to say.
Do you think that Jauan Jennings could be our tight end too?
I think that they will not convert him and change his position as far as what he's getting paid for, but that doesn't mean they won't line him up as an inline guy.
Because as I'm just saying, as a tight end, this is a really good deal.
I think this is a good deal for what you said at the wide receiver 3 position as well. Because if you go back and you think about, well, what did Kendrick Bourne get? Because that's essentially who Jauan Jennings replaced. And I know he got paid elsewhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's funny, Mike? Can you tell me the difference? Can you guess the difference between the yak average per reception between Brandon Ayuk and Jauan Jennings? Can you tell me what the difference is? Guess what the difference is?
2 yards.
0.1 yards, bro.
What?
Ayuk averaged 4.9 per catch of yak, and Jauan Jennings 4.8.
Contact or yards? Is it
after
how
catch.
is it broken down?
Catch.
After catch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that
Yards after
crazy?
catch. 4.9 and 4.8. Yeah, that just shows you how much deeper the routes that Ayuk was running.
Yes, on some routes, but there were routes where he was also getting underneath and being asked to get the yak. All I'm saying is, like, these aren't your yak receivers. These aren't the guys you get the ball in space and you let them go ham, right? Because Deebo Samuel was 8.7, okay? And then Christian McCaffrey was 6.8. George Kittle was 7.3.
Right.
So they're underneath.
Those are the yak guys.
Those are your yak bros.
What was Jennings's yards per reception?
Yards per reception. Oh, Mike going with the big terms, the terminology here. Okay, so don't move on me, cuz. Come on, cuz. What you doing, cuz? All right, so Jennings' yards per reception was 13.9.
And then Ayuk's was closer to
Ayuk is
17.9.
17.9. Like, yeah.
17.9.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad, man. A first down every reception is still good. I mean, now granted, he's only, wide receiver 3. He wasn't getting on those targets, but that's what's up, man. This is a good
Do
wide
you
receiver.
know who was 11.3 though, Mike? Ronnie Bell. Y'all could sleep on Ronnie Bell.
You keep trying to gas this guy up,
bro. You could sleep on this kid. Listen, he caught 6 receptions on 13 targets, bro. For 68 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he averaged 11.3 yards per reception. Mike, that's a number 4 wide receiver.
That's a non-primary target in Kyle Shanahan's system.
Mike, you're so bad, man. This is why Ray McCloud is gone. Willie Snead is gone. He actually tied with Ray McCloud, believe it or not. Like, I'm just looking at the receivers. Right. You know who averaged the most, though? Which wide receiver averaged the most?
Yards per reception?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Ayuk.
No, it was Chris Conley. 23 yards.
Oh, stop it with that bullshit. He had how many catches?
It don't matter.
Yes, it does.
I'm just saying.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so now it matters. Mike, you the most You are the worst. When I sit there and tell you,
Chris Conley me with his 3 catches, 2 catches, some shit like that.
First of all, let me tell you. First of all, he had 3 catches on 5 targets. Okay.
Yes.
Second of all, let me tell you something, brother. Don't you ever sit there and try to come for me when I say pay Brandon Ayuk, because that dude needs to be paid for his production. I don't care. He's a number 1. You make him the highest paid receiver for all I care. I don't care if he had 30, 40 less targets than the other receivers for the team. When his number is called, you throw him the ball, he does what he have to do. 17.9 yards per reception. I sat there and told you that Chris Conley did it. Brandon Ayuk had far significant numbers than some of these other number 1s. You better pay him. You better pay him.
Listen, I'm cool with paying Brandon Ayuk under one condition. We did the
same thing. You saw that? Did you hear that? You did the same thing I did. I said paying.
Yeah. Under one condition.
Okay.
It better not cost me Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey should get a new deal.
Why would it cost you Christian McCaffrey? Well, do you understand the San Francisco 49ers, Mike? They pay like they weigh. They want who they
pay
want.
The people they like. Yeah.
Why would it cost? It ain't
Because
cost.
Listen, I don't think Christian McCaffrey isn't here because of a contract. However, I think he deserves another contract. Christian McCaffrey is grossly underpaid. I would like to see the 49ers reset the running back market the way they did with George Kittle and his tight end contract. I would like to see Christian McCaffrey get paid about $23 million a year.
Here's my thing. I think they do that with the addition of all of these running backs that they have on their roster, just to let the league know y'all can't with us. Like, y'all can't mess with us in the business office. Y'all can't with us on the football field. Y'all can't, you know what I'm saying? There's literally one team in the way of the San Francisco 49ers, and that's the mother Kansas City Chiefs. That's it. Super chat contribution real quick before you finish your point. Jack's 49ers girl knocks. Hey, guys, keep doing great things. Let's go. 3rd and 15. I'm surprised y'all don't know what brain and eggs is. Mike, you know what brain and eggs is?
Nah.
What do you think it is?
It's got to be some kind of pasta.
Okay.
Like, when I think of brains, I think of pasta.
I know what I think of when I think of brains.
My first thought is, yeah, but sorry. All right, so at least we was out in our Maki Dada moment there. We was there, but it's cool. I think that I can't stand you. We be too in sync, and then like you say stuff that my brain is thinking, and I don't know if I said it or if you said it. Like, it's bad. But I think it's some kind of pasta and eggs, which is
I think it's cow brains.
What do you mean?
That's what it is. It's cow brains, and it's just not something that that to me.
It's not cow brains. What are you talking about?
Okay.
She said, "Wait, could you put what was the comment she said?"
I'm surprised y'all don't know what brain and eggs is. You thought it said Brian?
No. Oh, I did. Okay. So she's saying she eats that.
That's what I'm assuming, since we don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not going to eat something I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to try something that I don't know what it is. I'm not about that life.
Oh, it says pork brains, not cow. So this, according to Wikipedia, eggs and brains.
Yeah, y'all can't give
us a breakfast
us
meal consisting of pork brains and scrambled eggs. It's a Portuguese dish.
Oh, well, I ain't Portuguese, and the only pork I'm eating is bacon and bacon.
Nah, you get some ham
for breakfast. No, for breakfast. For breakfast.
For
breakfast. For breakfast. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't eat the ham. That's the best part. But the bacon. I've
probably had brain before, just didn't know it. Like, because my family, we from the South, we don't waste no parts of the pig. We eat the intestines down there.
I don't do chitterlings either. But that it is eating. It is something that you can consume. That's what's the word? Edible,
digestible. Okay.
Whatever, however you want to look at it. Congratulations to Jauan Jennings. He gets the foghorn. Again, Mike, you had a point before we move on to the show.
Yeah. And I'll try to make it quick because this could be a whole thing, right? I would love to see the 49ers reset the market for the running back position. Running backs are grossly underpaid. But here's why I think the Niners are the team to do it. When they inherited Christian McCaffrey.
I like this.
Right? When they inherited him, he was the highest paid running back in the NFL.
Under contract, yes, he was.
Since then, 5 other running backs have gotten big deals, and none of them have passed him. So that means that the NFL doesn't say, oh, just because you're the next man up, you got to get paid more. They're going to say, are you doing what he's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no? Well, then you don't deserve that kind of money.
He's the, I don't want to say example, but that's what it is. Like, he's going to be the model.
He's the bar. He's the bar.
The bar. Yeah. It's perfect.
Christian McCaffrey is the running back bar. I think the Niners should reset the market because when another guy like him comes along, he should
never going to be another Christian McCaffrey, Mike.
I'm not saying that there will be.
I'm going to say that. You know why I say that? DNA, work ethic. There's just so many factors that make up Christian McCaffrey. Now, whether it be another dynamic two-way running back, like guy that can line up, play, yeah. Like, but I don't think, no one's talking about Christian McCaffrey's cognitive ability out there on the football field either, right? Like, like he just understands plays. You line him up at the wideout, you line him up in the slot, you line him up in the backfield, you line him up at quarterback, you line him up like he he really gets football. Plus, you have to factor in the experience. So I think even if you do get a guy like a Christian McCaffrey, it will take time for that to develop in the NFL. Like, it will take time. And I think Bijan Robinson might be that next bar, but it's too young to tell. Like, right? Like, they don't even utilize him like that in ATL. So, like,
I mean, there's potential for guys like Saquon to do it.
There's
potential for other guys out there to do it. Is all I'm saying.
I agree, but I don't think they have the same makeup. So what I'm trying to say is like, yes, there's potential. You got your Saquon Barkleys. I would even throw Aaron Jones in there. You got Saquon, Aaron Jones. There was one more. Oh, Josh Jacobs, right? These are those guys that you could throw the ball to out of the backfield, but you're not lining them up like you normally do with like a Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is literally a nightmare, a matchup nightmare. And so I don't think you'll do the same with Saquon Barkley. Now, Barkley in space, that's different. Like, if you could get him into some type of space, I don't even think Jahmyr Gibbs is that type of running back. But I could be wrong.
Man. Christian McCaffrey, I just did the math. Christian McCaffrey accounted for just under 30% of the 49ers total offensive production last year.
Absolutely. And it wasn't because they overran him either. Keep going. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw that out there because people think that's what happened. He was overutilized in the run game. I don't think people knew that Christian McCaffrey is on the field the majority of the time.
Yes. Right. So on a per snap basis, it's probably still not as high and not as bad as it looks. He's just super duper productive, bro. And so 30% of this offense, the number 2 offense in the league last year, bro. Nobody's getting close to that. There's no reason him and George Kittle's pay should be similar.
Oh, I got a question. Do you think that the running backs are going to hate him? Christian McCaffrey's a huge advocate for running backs getting paid. But if Christian McCaffrey is the bar, speaking of bar, we're going to talk about that in a second. If Christian McCaffrey is the bar, Mike, and these other running backs are way below that bar.
Right.
Does that hurt the other running backs? I say if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I say do it. Like, if I'm John
it don't hurt
Lynch,
him because what'll happen is a guy will eventually get the $15 million because McCaffrey's making 24. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It'll eventually. You're half of McCaffrey. Cool.
So I'll give you half of the money. But that's gotta be a good half. Like, you still got to be able to do some of the
everything.
Things Christian. Okay.
Yes.
I said some. You said everything. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Speaking of everything, Mike, the PFF has released most of the offensive pre-rankings going into the 2024 season. The only one I don't see, and maybe it's been published since we started, the show, was the tight end. Now, George Kittle did finish number 1 in 2023, but that doesn't mean he's going to be number 1 in 2024 headed into the season, because Trent Williams finished number 2 in 2023, and he ended up number 1. Now, I'm just going to go through the rankings. The 49ers have top-ranked players on offense, and so the question out there is, will this be enough? Like, do they have enough top players? Do they need these top players? Will this be enough for them to get over the hump and bring back that Super Bowl trophy to Santa Clara? And that's the ultimate question.
Oh, that is a trick question, too.
It's a dumb trick question, Mike. And I'm sorry, but that's the question, right?
Because you're saying get over the hump.
Just over it, bro.
Which means we have to improve on what we already have, but we have the league best already.
How do you improve? How do you improve? See, I'm asking like 95 more questions. Like, how do you get better than what you already were if you were at the hump to get over the hump?
How many players do we have at the top?
Whew. All right, so quarterback, we don't have a top 10 quarterback. He's number 13. We went over that on your show, right? On No Harm, No Foul. We have 2 wide receivers, Mike, in the top 10. Brandon Ayuk is 8. Deebo Samuel is 10. Then we have the top offensive tackle in football. That's Trent Williams. He's number 1. Then you have the number 1 running back, and you just talked about setting a bar, right? I think the bar is set. It's like Christian McCaffrey and then a huge drop, right? Huge drop. And even if you're thinking in the mind of fantasy football, it's still a huge drop. It's like, do I get Bijan Robinson next? Do I go Derrick Henry because now he's with the Ravens? Like, it's a huge drop, right? So it's Christian McCaffrey at that number one spot heading into the 2024 season. And we're just focusing on offense today, Mike. We'll bring back the defensive edition of the show once those get released. But I thought that was super dope to see old man Trent ahead of guys. Mike, he's ahead of some tough dudes. Like the top 5, I posted on my Twitter the other day. The top 5 are tough, broski. Like, dang. And you telling me at the age, how old is Trent Williams? 30, 35, 36?
Man, I feel like Trent Williams like my age, but I know he's a couple years younger. He got to be 35, 36.
35, 36. Number 1, Trent Williams. Number 2, Tristan Wirfs from Tampa Bay. Number 3, Penei Sewell from Detroit Lions. 4, Christian Darrisaw. Mike, 35. We play all these top tackles this
and
year.
Tell them come get this work, because this is the year that the defensive line gonna wake the F up. This is our year for the defensive line to really do something. Y'all messed up letting us get Floyd. Y'all messed up with Nick Bosa being pissed off at his production from the previous season. I'm sorry, let me calm down. That's not what we supposed to do.
Nah, broski.
I'm sorry.
Nah, I think I needed that. I needed that. I needed that, right?
Bring on all them top tackles. Let's go.
Hey, top tackles mean what to you in the NFL? Top tackles mean what to you in the NFL? If you're a top tackle, your responsibility is what?
You're a well-rounded guy in pass pro and in blocking.
Ooh, can I read this real quick?
Please do.
Trent Williams. I mean, shout out to Zoltan Bude, who wrote this piece for PFF. Trent Williams, this is funny. Trent Williams is in a class of his own. The future Hall of Famer remains the gold standard at the position as he puts together another elite season in 2023, despite struggling with an ankle injury. Penei Sewell is a star. Those are your top 2 tackles, right? So you went from class of his own to a star. I just wanted to read what they wrote about Trent Williams. The future Hall of Famer remains the gold standard at the position as he puts together another elite season, struggling with an ankle injury. His 92.5 PFF grade ranked second amongst offensive tackles last year. He was the only, Mike, the only player at the position to earn run blocking and pass blocking grades above 84.
Come on, man.
And I know he has his games, Mike, that we have to call out. Like, yo, do you know how much it hurts me to talk? It hurts.
I wasn't gonna leave.
I'm just saying. Listen. You know the good thing about us is, I can't see everything with 2 eyes. You can't see everything with 2 eyes. We got 4 eyes. Then we bring in Tony. We got 6 eyes. We bring in another person. You got 8 eyes. You bring in another person. You got 10 eyes. The more eyes you got watching something, the more you see. Put that on a shirt. So what I'm trying to say is, Trent is bearing health. This 49ers offensive line, I know overall it's a work in progress, but how important is Trent to his offensive line? More important than he is any one of these other players.
Listen, man. It's got to be sending a message that's going to permeate through that offensive line room, right? Like, this is the standard. He's above the standard. There's stars, but then there's like generational talent, and then
you peeped that, right?
Yeah,
that was the write-up.
Yeah,
league of his own, class of his own.
Come on, bro. Yeah, like they thought about redoing their grading system based off of how well this guy was playing, and that includes the penalties that we often talk about. That includes it. PFF and they knocks for penalties.
They hit you hard, right? You'll go from 100 grade to a 70. One penalty.
Come on,
you're right.
Bro. And he's still out there doing it like that, bro. Like, it's just different. It's different, and it's going to be infectious for those other men in that room, man. And even if we can't get up to that standard, what if we get? Remember we were just talking about getting halfway to Christian McCaffrey. What if we just get halfway to Trent? We're gonna be all right, man.
I'm not as worried. I mean, if there's an area that we still need to improve, it's the offensive line. And that doesn't mean we need to add another player or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say, because I think I just need to see with my own eyes what this offensive line is. The continuity, I think that was the key to Chris Forrester and Kyle Shanahan's game plan. They wanted to make sure they brought back the key cogs to the offensive line, and they want to see how the continuity is, and then they're going to bring in some young talent to see if they can outwork some of these older veteran guys that they have on that offensive line. Also, you got to look to replenish the line for the future, and you have a couple of guys with expiring contracts, right? And so I think I'm not super sold on our offensive line until I see the continuity. And I think it's there because you literally are bringing back that starting offensive line that got you to the Super Bowl. Did it have issues? For sure. Did there's areas they need to improve? For sure. The question is, can they improve? Is there still room to grow? I think with a healthy Trent Williams out there, he just makes the whole offensive line better. Now, I don't know if that puts more weight on his shoulders, but if I'm an offensive lineman playing on that same offensive line with Trent Williams, he's the standard. So that means I need to figure out, I need to know what he eat. I need to know how he work out. I need to know what he drink. I need to know what he lift. I really would try to be him within my own self, right? Like that's if that's the standard, that's who I'm looking up to. I don't care if he don't speak to me. He ain't got to say hello. I'm going to watch what he does, and I'm going to try to model that into my own game plan, because I want to live up to that standard, and I think that's why he's here. I think that was one of the main reasons why they went and got him in that trade. And I just think, shout out to Trent Williams for just being in a class of his own. That's one player. Second player before we dip up out of here is Christian McCaffrey, and I gotta read you about Christian McCaffrey. He's ranked number 1 as well. It's Christian McCaffrey's world. That's the headline for him. All right. It's Christian McCaffrey's world. Here are the top 5 running backs, and then I'll read about Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can guess. Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's 2.
Oh, Chubb didn't play last year. Never mind. I don't want to do it no more.
Okay. But they expecting him to come back, so he's ranked number 4. Who do you think number 3 is? He came back off of an injury last year, and in my opinion, he might be healthy. He might be in that Christian McCaffrey kind of like stratosphere.
Who?
Jonathan Taylor.
The Colts.
The Colts.
Jonathan Taylor.
He's
You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Bijan Robinson. He reminds me of Eckler, and what I saw from Eckler this year disappointed me so much. Agreed. That I was afraid to like Jonathan Taylor again. But that's a really good. It's a good one. I like that.
He has that ability. He's a all workhorse running back. He's a great pass protector. He came from Wisconsin. You know how they do their running backs there, and then he can catch out of the backfield, right? His issue is health, and so we'll see. But this is what they said about our guy, Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey has been by far and away the most productive running back in the NFL for the past not 1 but 2 seasons, as he dominated once again in 2023. He led the league with a career high 1,459 rushing yards and added a league-leading 21 total touchdowns, that's receiving and rushing, in the process, earning a 90.6 grade, which is the second highest in the NFL. The former Panther was the ultimate workhorse too. And this is what I was trying to say to you, Mike. A lot of these guys don't have that ability, like being that work, like just the ability. I'll keep reading. His 339 touches from scrimmage led the league, and despite the lofty workload, his efficiency was excellent. McCaffrey averaged 5 yards per carry and caught 67 passes for 564 yards. That's 2 number 1s, Mike.
How do we not win the Super Bowl with this team? How do we not do it?
Do you think that it was a work overload, not for the player, but for the coach? Do you think he just outwitted himself? Do you think he saw something that he just got scared?
Every once in a while, you got to tap into the players and not the scheme. And I think he's got to flip that switch more often.
Do you watch basketball?
Yes.
And you're familiar with runs, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And when teams go on a run, as a coach, what is your job?
Feed the hot hand.
Well, let's say the team's going on a run against you. What is your job?
Oh, you got to break that momentum. You got to find a way to break the momentum.
Now, I know it's a little different in football. Timeouts are different. You don't get as many, right?
Right.
It's a little harder.
You try to stop it early.
You gotta, like it don't
2
matter.
3s in a row. Nope.
No. Right. Something ain't right. We're not doing something right. Something's not clicking.
Yeah.
The reason why I said that is because for some reason in basketball, when you watch these teams have big leads or comfortable leads, usually the coaching and the playing, the execution gets laxed, short for relaxed. But it starts at the coach. It starts with the coaching.
Yeah.
So do you think Kyle Shanahan, it's a whole nother question, whole nother show, but do you think Kyle Shanahan gets too laxed? And you can't be up by 10 and 11 in Super Bowls with 7 minutes to go and not find a way to close out.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying Kyle is the reason because he's not playing, but as the head coach,
there's got to be something there.
Right?
Yeah, there's got to be. It's got to be.
I mean, that's what you get paid the big bucks for. Now, help me out, bro.
Reason, man.
Help me out,
I'm
bro.
with you. You're the shot caller for a reason. You gotta at least be able to protect the lead. You might not be able to build on it, but like do something.
Like sustain it. Like
keep the margin the same.
Keep the margin. Oh my God. That's it. They score, you score.
Yes, that part. Right there.
That's the margin. That's all I needed. They score, you score, we score. We got a lead. But when you get too comfortable, when you get I don't know if you can see it in the comments. Looked up laxed in the dictionary. Yo, I've never seen a coach. Now, I'm not saying Kyle Shanahan, it doesn't get frustrated and things like that. But we talk about, some of our mantras, the all gas, the no breaks and things like that, man. You ask me, like, how do you not win? And I almost feel a tad bit embarrassed because last year we had, like, top players in every position. We were fully loaded. Health might have been a deterioration, but it was like that for every team just about. But at the end of the day, it was like we had all these weapons, and on top of that, we had Brock. And I'm gonna be honest, I think Kyle put the training wheels back on Brock in that Super Bowl.
It's possible. It's very possible. Training wheels as far as predetermined throws.
You know what that means.
Not so much pass attempt. No, because I know people are going to say, well, he was throwing too much and blah, blah, blah. I know what people are going to say.
Okay.
I know how they're going to
thank you for
hear
explaining
what you said and misinterpret it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is where you need to go with the ball.
Because when you go back, I want you to go back and watch the Super Bowl, right? Do your homework. Tell me Brock was super confident in that game. He didn't play bad. But just tell me that he was super confident, because I didn't get super confident, Brock. I got script, Brock. I'm going to play to the script. We're going to win this game, whatever. Yeah. Super confident, Brock, is the player that will make a play out of no play.
Right.
It's the player that can feel the pressure right in his face, will run to the left and see Brandon Ayuk wide open, opposed to predetermining and throwing the ball to Jauan Jennings, who's wide open in the end zone. That's predetermined to me.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like is it possible Kyle hit Brock with the speech? Don't this up. Like okay.
Your job is to not lose this game for us today.
No.
Not go out there and win it. Just don't lose it for us today.
I felt like we've never had this conversation. I felt like we haven't had this conversation. I felt like we haven't talked about that. I didn't even think about that. I haven't want to have
Super Bowl conversations for a long time, man. I've been trying to tell people, like, we got to talk about it sometime.
I didn't think that you thought that that's what. possibly was a scenario of what could have happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't blow this one for us.
The Niners are loaded with talent. They're loaded in the trenches. I can't wait till we do the defensive episode because I can see the Niners. Let me ask you this. Do you think George Kittle going into the 2024 season, he finished #1 tight end, highest graded tight end last season, 2023. Does he enter the season #1 tight end PFF?
Well, if he finished last, you got to start. I mean, if you finish first, you got to start first. No one's beat you yet.
That's where I'm kind of confused because Trent Williams finished second and now he's first.
Oh, so this is a projection thing. Is this the what? I don't understand. Then now you confuse me with the whole thing.
So yeah, this is going into the season, and from what they did last season, this is what they feel like these players are going to be ranked.
Going to be.
Because there's no way you could tell me.
Position.
Yeah, you can't tell me Brock Purdy's the 13th best quarterback in the NFL if he was the second to last quarterback standing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And he didn't play poorly in the Super Bowl.
I got you now. No, I do not think George Kittle will be the top ranked tight end by the end of the season.
Can I get your top ranked tight end?
Yes. Isaiah Likely.
Baltimore Ravens. You think he takes over for Mark Andrews?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love you, Mike. I do.
Absolutely.
I do. How many defensive players, before we dip out of here, how many 49er defensive players you think will be ranked first heading into the 2024 season?
It should only be one. And it's not Nick Bosa.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. Mike, get ready to take us home. Let's get up out of here, man. I like that. Peace.
We live all the time, kicking it with the fam, bro. That's Breezy. I'm Mike, and this is the B.A.M Show.